We've got the hay and green grass growing. Here come the goats, there is no slowing. They've got the kids in tow. Come on and see the show. The pigs will slop and roosters crow. It's our hometown rodeo. Excitement never stops while the animals jump and hop. Join the show just after 7. Watch us in our animal heaven. Wake up with goats and chicks. Come feed the cows all their grain mix. Join the show just after 7. Take a head count, 9, 10, 11. With the crew, come take a pic. Just watch for the cows, 'cause they might kick.
The part about the pigs is coming up.
Badly.
Nights get cold in Pennsylvania. Snuggle with the goats, I can't blame ya. The pigs huddle in hay and hide away till May.
That's
Hope
true.
is here with all her friends. Around the farm, work never ends. We keep the garden green with the goats to eat the weeds. Join the show just after 7. Watch us in our animal heaven. Wake up with goats and chicks and feed the cows all their
Dogs are
grain
playing,
mix.
so you can hear them in the background.
Join the show just after 7. Take a head count, 9, 10, 11. With the crew, come take a pic. Just watch for the cows, 'cause they might kick.
That was the longest minute and 45 seconds of my life.
Really?
No, not really.
I'm sure
It just-
other moments today were longer.
It just feels like it's been a long day. A long day. Hello, guys. Welcome.
I texted Stella today. Well, she texted me first, and I was like, can we not just have like a normal, quiet weekend? Like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. That's all right. This is our normal. Our normal is crazy all the time.
Yeah, we're tired. We're sick.
The dogs are playing. Bentley, come here.
Oh, it's so cute.
Come here.
They love each other so much.
Look who this is.
There's
Look
little
who this is.
Billy.
You mute. Are we good? Hello, test. I hope she didn't mute you. Sorry for this ginormous microphone in front of us, but it's what I have. It's what I have. Okay. Where do we start? So it's been a busy couple days because we have the Lehigh Valley Flower Show that we've been set up at with the baby goats. And so that was a lot of work setting that up, and operating it's fine, but getting there is
Thursday
pretty tough. It's pretty
whirlwind.
tough.
Yeah.
But all set up there, all is well. I have 4 kids, guys, and one of my children, well, she's right here being her best behaved self right now. She knows to be quiet this time. But one of my daughters is in college, and she wants to be a veterinarian, which is very cool.
Mindy, I see your comment. It's so true. Sorry.
And her professor wanted her to draw up some blood from the pigs or a pig for the class. And she wanted to do that while she was on spring break. So she was home for spring break, and I kept promising her I would help her. I would do this for her. And that's okay, because I'm not afraid to do that type of thing with the farm animals. In fact, we had our entire herd of goats tested for some pretty serious stuff. And me and Aiden, we drew up.
And me. I remember helping.
100 goats. I don't know.
It took a long time.
It was about 100 goats that we took the blood out. So, I mean, I was very confident that I could do it and help her. And so today I promised her I would. So I left the flower show to come home so I could help her do this. And
Because
so
she goes back to school tomorrow.
because she goes back to school tomorrow. So I wanted to do this for her. And I got home and we're looking at the pigs. And I'm like, okay, Winston, 400 pounds, not happening. Like, I don't have a restraint for the Piggly Wigglies. There's no restraints. This is it right here. This is it. You gotta restrain them with your muscles. And so Maggie was the easiest target. She was the easiest one to hold. So
She's the smallest.
yeah, she's the smallest. So Andy was there, I was there, and Kayla was there. So Kayla heard Kayla's professor gave her all these little vials and syringes, and we did all the Google research, and she even texted and her professor and asked questions, and so it was going to be cool to do this. So I get over there and I grabbed her and I sat her in my lap. And I'm not sure if you've seen some of the thumbnails I used, but when I sat her in my lap, she was in an upright position, screaming to the top of her lungs. Pigs scream a lot, very loud. Our very first example of that was at the other property when I picked up a pig and carried it across the yard, and the neighbors come running over saying that we were torturing our animals because it traveled all the way over the hill to the neighbor's property, and they crossed the street to tell me that I was mishandling the animals. But no, pigs are very loud. They're very loud. So here I am holding the pig, trying to think, well, I'm the only one that really I think I'm strong enough to hold the pig. Maybe I could also draw the blood out from we're going to use this vein right here and the jugular. And you can't really see much at all. But first off, she was screaming. So it was like, how do we
Bailey,
get her
don't you go potty.
How do we get her to stop screaming? So I was like, we'll feed her. That's probably the smartest decision because pigs eat, they stop talking. So we did that and we fed her, and it didn't seem to calm her down at all. She continued to scream. I did a couple of sticks. You know, it literally when you're trying to get blood from a pig in the jugular, they even tell you online it's a blind stick. There, you can't see the vein. Like I've got veins here, you can't see them on the pig. So it's a blind stick. You have to kind of know what you're looking for and feel it just a little bit, but it's very hard. I'm trying. I think people are getting very anxious.
Mm-hmm. You're stalling.
Well, I have to tell the story because there are plenty of people here that have no clue
that don't know
the
what
build
happened
up.
today.
And if I just jump into everything else,
so this was
it's
earlier
not
today,
fair.
guys, like around noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there.
So I gave up. I gave up on trying to get the blood from Maggie. Her name's Maggie, by the way. I'll stop calling her the pig. I gave up. I was like, it's not going to happen, honey. You're going to have to go get it somewhere else. And then she said, oh, but she also said I could get it from a sheep. And so when I put Maggie down, you could hear it sounded like she had asthma. I mean, it just sounded rough. And I posted a little 15-second clip of her breathing on Facebook, and everyone was like, that's horrible. That's just sounds so bad. She needs help. And I knew she needed help. So I had already taken that clip and I was trying to get it to my vet so they could listen and give me advice. Ultimately, by the time I did get a hold of the vet, they were like, just bring her down. So we hopped in the car. Oh, in between that time, Kayla and I did manage to get 2 vials of blood from the sheep for her class, which was really cool. That was a successful thing.
Where'd you get it from the sheep?
The neck.
Oh,
yeah, the neck.
Through the wool?
No, I shaved the neck.
Oh, wow.
I shaved.
And
the
was
neck.
that a blind stick, or you could see it?
No, you can see it. Yeah.
Like
so when you shave the neck and you press down right here, you can feel the jugular as you press. So I knew exactly where to get it from. All right. So here's where the story starts to get a little crazy. Maggie was sounding worse and worse. And at some points, she was even flailing around a little bit. And I knew something was wrong. And I didn't know what was wrong. But we put her in the Sprinter van, headed down to Quakertown. It's a 1-hour drive. I stopped once to see if she was still with us, and she was. I get to the vet, and the vet takes her in. They all come out, and she's in a little wheelie cart that I brought, and they rolled her inside of the vet's office and disappeared. Just handed me paperwork and said, fill this out, and disappeared. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what they're going to do. So she comes back out and says, we need to put her on light sedation. We have to sedate her. And then x-ray. So that sounded pretty good. You know, they're going to get started on that. So they did the sedation. They did the x-ray. She went over the x-ray results with me. And I even have, wherever my phone went that was playing the song, I have an x-ray photo. The abdomen was very, very full of air, very full. In fact, so much full that she explained it was putting pressure on her heart and her lungs. So much pressure that some of her lung capacity, like the capillaries, were bursting. And that's why she had blood in her lungs, and that's why she had blood in her stomach. Okay. So I want you to see this. And she said, this was just, here we go. And I'm no x-ray tech. So it's very hard for me to explain to you what we're looking at here. But what she says, something, if you look at this line right here, and then you look at the line down there, one of those is supposed to be the chest cavity, and one of those is supposed to be the lung cavity. And one of them is the stomach one is pushing into the lungs very, very far. I don't understand how it works, but she explained it to me that there was literally no room for her lungs to expand any further. They would only go, she couldn't do it because there was so much gas and buildup from her stomach that she literally couldn't breathe. And so when I thought on the way to the vet that she was doing better because she wasn't breathing as hard, that's actually worse. It was actually worse. She was doing way worse because the more gas that filled up, I was okay with the deep, long breaths, but she couldn't. They were very shallow. Okay. Now, she came out to tell me this and immediately says, I feel that it's in your best interest to put her down. That just shocked me. It was like, that's not what I was expecting whatsoever. Like, my first gut reaction is obviously to ask questions and how do you save this pig? How do you save Maggie? And she explained it all to me. And she didn't, this twisted stomach thing that we were talking about, I did post that. I talked about a twisted stomach. She wasn't 100% sure because on the x-rays, you can't see everything exactly the way it is. You can't see all of the things. So exploratory surgery would have been the next option, she said, at a tune of a total all-in cost of $10,000. So I said, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm not putting $10,000 into my Piggly Wiggly, even though I love her.
I think we paid what, $1,200 or $1,500 for Petunia. Yeah. She had her C-section.
So then I came up with the idea. I said, can't you just poke a hole in her stomach and let the air out? And maybe if she does have the twisted gut, things will just settle out. It'll straighten out. That was my thought. And she said, let me see if I can stabilize her and see what I can do. She disappears again for like another 40 minutes. She just kept going away. And then when she'd come out and she'd give me the updates, and I was updating Facebook feed, kind of giving you guys that information. she didn't troch her where they poke a hole in the stomach. She actually tubed her all the way down to the stomach, and they were able to relieve the pressure. And she said that actually made her breathing sound a lot better. So I was like, and now here she's 100% sedated at this point. She is out of it. And she said, it sounds better. I said, okay, so now what? She says, we're going to bring her out of sedation. And if she starts filling up with gas again or having crazy breathing, you're back to square one, where either you need to have us do surgery or you're going to have to put her down. And can you hear us? The computer just went into silent mode and it's going to start lagging.
What's
happened?
it at? 30%?
Yeah, but I don't know why it just.
I don't think it went into silent. I think it just dimmed because it's on battery save mode.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Sorry. Okay, so I left you all hanging on that last YouTube video where I'm sitting in the van determining whether or not, because here's the thing, I said, if she wakes up and she doesn't fill with gas, I'm going to bring her home and I'm going to watch her. And if she goes downhill, I will euthanize her myself. That was my plan. Or if she wakes up and she is the same as before, I was going to let the vet euthanize her. So hold on. What you're looking at is not a Rorschach painting. That is her little snout. She did not make it, y'all. That is an ink blotting of her little snout. When she woke up, it was bad. It was very, very bad. I looked at her and I knew right away that I was not able to see her in this condition anymore. That's her hoof. That's her hoof print. I just could not watch her in this condition. I didn't just say, yes, do it. I said, explain to me your options, my options. And none of them look good. She didn't, from the very beginning, the vet said that her prognosis was very, very low. She never had a good chance. And I feel like crap about it because as much as my wife loves me and I love her, we still argue. We still have our disagreements and we still have our own feelings, the way that each of us feel. And she, the reason I was saying earlier over and over and over again that she would be fine sleeping in her little pig house tonight, if it weren't for me, was because it's exactly what Lauren said to begin with. And that sucks. It sucks because she would be. It's 100% my fault. It is. It is my fault. I am not going to sugarcoat this, everyone. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It wasn't done maliciously or on purpose, but the results of what happened caused her to die. And that's that. And she was, the vet assumed she was in her teens. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, we never knew how
She was
old
a
she
rescue,
was.
guys.
She was surrender. She was surrendered to our farm because somebody couldn't keep pigs on their property. So, no, I didn't know that would happen. I'm going to relate this to something very similar. Yeah, I was trying to help. We were trying to feed her to calm her down. And we didn't know that she was not already sick, guys. So let me tell you how we know 100% it was the apples. I don't know if I got to the end
No,
of it.
you didn't. I wasn't sure if you were stopping there for a reason or not.
No, let me tell you 100%. It was not the stomach filling. That was a natural response to the pain she was in. That's why her stomach filled up. The vet gave me a free necropsy. That is like an autopsy. And that's why this evening took so long for me to get home, because I waited and waited and waited so I could take her body back home with me. She's all sewed up nice and pretty. But as she was in there looking for what the problem was, there were chunks of apples falling out of her lung. Just falling out of her lungs. Even the stem. So when she was in the position, like up and down, it was a stupid human error, and she aspirated on solid food. And that wasn't the cause of the death, but it would have been. The cause of the death was the euthanization. So it's heartbreaking. It really, really is heartbreaking, because if I just wouldn't have touched her today, she'd still be out there sleeping tonight, right? So it is definitely a learning moment. I want to take this as a lesson learned, and I want to take 100% ownership for it. I already know there's going to be people that are going to say what they're going to say, but I'm not going to let it get me down. I don't know what else to tell you with this story. I'm going to read a few of the comments now and see. Do you have anything you want to add?
That I'm sorry for saying that to you. I did already apologize to him in my human moment. You know, we're human, we're not perfect. My initial reaction to it all was anger.
He was mad at me.
Like, if you wouldn't have even tried to take the blood, this wouldn't have happened. And I realized I didn't help you. It only hurt you more. And I'm sorry. I want to apologize again. I'm sorry. Just wish we could go back in time.
So that's all. Before I do go right back here to the comments, I did want to. It didn't get to the point where Jeff did something very similar to this. He led Uno into the trailer, which was his one-way trip to the slaughterhouse. But Jeff had no idea what he was doing. It was to help the situation. Feeding Maggie was to help the situation and calm her down. I, unfortunately, unalived her most favorite dog years ago because I thought I was helping by administering medicine.
No, please do not tell that story.
I'm not going
that'll
to.
set me over the edge right now.
It happens. It happens, and it's heartbreaking. And I just want you guys to know, I want you to know that my animals mean the world to me. The moment I noticed that she was struggling, and it wasn't like an asthma attack, it wasn't her, struggling to breathe for like lack of, like me, like if I ran or got messed up, I would breathe heavy. I knew it was more than that. So it's tough. Let's look here. What do we got? Losing animals is extremely, extremely hard. It doesn't get any easier.
It feels like we are constantly losing animals. This is constantly a hit after hit after hit. But we have a lot.
These comments are flying too fast, so I'm just gonna
We have
randomly pick one.
a lot of animals, a lot that were rescues or surrenders that we don't know how old they are.
This is Bailey.
This is little Bailey.
Yeah.
Oh, look. She perked her head up because Mary's coming.
So the answer, Mandy, is no. She did not have a twisted stomach. After the necropsy, the stomach was straight. It was fine. There's a condition that pigs can get, and basically, in layman's terms, to break it down for you, is she got bloat. She got bloat. It's essentially what happened. The stress of having the apple pieces stuck inside of her lungs and just struggling. Could you imagine the adrenaline that goes through your body, like when you have that choking feeling or when something's stuck in your throat? So that was her body's reaction. And unfortunately, it did harm her with the building up of the pressure. And honestly, if I didn't get her there, probably she would have passed away very shortly thereafter because the pressure was too much. So luckily, when they sedated her and took the pressure out, she was able to, and we decided to euthanize her, she was able to pass away on her own terms. I did have a little upset moment with the vet at the end. I was very respectful, but they go to school for 8 years for a reason. They know what they're doing. But the moment I walked in that door, I told the vet she choked on an apple. That's what happened. And when she came back out and told me it was a gut issue, I knew something that didn't seem right. I was relieved. I said, "Oh, I'm relieved that it's not an apple." So the apple pieces were out of my head. But I went in there with 100% certainty that it was apple slices or pieces that were in her lungs. And I even said on the phone before I went down there, "Do you have an endoscope? Can you go down there and look and remove the pieces?" And they said yes. But when they shifted gears to the gut, I trusted them. And it wasn't until the autopsy, the necropsy at the end, when the pieces of apple came out of the lungs, that it was true. So my moment with her was, why didn't you go in with the scope first? And her answer was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but she said the end result would have been the same regardless.
I was going to say, I don't think they could have retrieved the apple pieces out of the lungs.
She said the big pieces they could have gotten, but when she was doing the necropsy, they were so many mushy, small pieces and so many crevices that she would have required at least a week on antibiotics and IV in the hospital. So that's $7,000 alone just in hospital bed. And then the antibiotics, and then the fact that she's already old enough. Oh, hold on. There's new news. There's other news. I see some people left already that I didn't tell you guys. They found tumors on her uterus. So there were some tumors on her uterus. She thinks that obviously they were probably benign. And then the other thing was her heart. First off, she said it was weird. It was, and I have it on the x-ray. She had and maybe it's not on this particular one right here. She had a round heart. It's not on this one. She has a round heart, but a portion of the heart, she said, was bony and calcified, which could mean that's why she was stunted. She was very, very, very small.
Just didn't seem like she could gain weight.
Yeah. All the pigs, the females are not fixed, Tracy.
The boys are.
The boys are fixed.
Although we don't know if she was fixed from the
we
previous
don't know
owner.
If she was.
I would think not.
Jennifer says, here's why the vet offered to do the necropsy for free. Possibly.
Yeah, but she didn't know it till at the end.
And she didn't. What else did she find? There was a couple other small things. She's going to be putting a report together for me, and she's going to be emailing the x-rays over.
I'm sorry, Cheryl. Cheryl just lost her cat yesterday.
Oh. So I did choose that tomorrow. I told Jeff he can do the 7-Eleven from the Allentown Fair because I have to take care of her in the morning. She's in the back of the van right now, but I gotta take care of her in the morning. So Jeff will be doing the 7-Eleven in the morning from the Allentown Fair. He's gonna bring some hay down there and whatnot, and you guys can hang out with him. And then I'll head up there to the fairgrounds afterwards.
Mary and I were going to suggest you stay and sleep in. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
let's see.
we don't want to get there at 7. It's not like we're doing the 7-Eleven.
Well, so Jeff's gonna be there.
Can we get there at like 8, between 8 and 9 instead?
Who? Me?
Mary and I.
You guys can drive separately.
Yeah.
We all need to drive separately. I need to bring the truck and trailer. You guys need
I'm
to bring
bringing
the
the
van. So Sean wants to know if Kayla's doing okay. So Kayla, of course, since this blood draw was supposed to be for her and her class and for college, I did feel that she probably feels a little guilty. She might feel a little upset, but I want her to know, and I already called her. I've already told her. I've already filled her in that it's not her fault. These things happen. I don't want her to feel any sort of way as far as guilt or anything like that. So it's just so weird. It's just so crazy because the pigs are just, we take them for granted. We love them. They're there. We throw them all of our extra scraps. They like to sleep, and then they like to uproot the whole yard, and they're just pigs. They're cool. And this is the first pig we've ever lost. We've lost goats, chickens.
Other than Petunia's piglets that didn't make it.
There were piglets that didn't make it, but completely. So one more thing. There's always one more thing.
I don't know what he's doing. Oh.
Before we euthanized her, I said, "Can you do me a solid? My daughter needs the blood for her college class." And so she's not going home empty-handed. And hopefully Maggie's, donation to the class can teach a bunch of young minds, you know what I mean? Inspire them to do something good and be animal lovers. I don't know. So she got her samples. She got them. I didn't get the blood work from Hank when I got the sheep blood work. It was one of the girls. It was one of the Arlie girls. Yeah. Well, guys.
We need to get to bed.
Yeah, it's 10:18. I stink.
Turn the clocks ahead, so it's actually 11:18.
Don't forget to turn your clocks ahead. And Jeffrey, thank you so much for heading to Allentown in the morning. I did not pull the hay out of the barn, and the bag of grains is still in the back of the van. But
hay in the van?
Did you guys put a bale out before you left?
I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
You figured it out.
I figured you figured it out.
Yeah, we figured it out. The dream team.
Guys, take 1 second to give us a thumbs up and a subscribe and a like and a follow. I'm going to bed.
Thank you for all of your support. I see lots of hugs, and I love you, and prayers, and bless you, and we appreciate it.
We do. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
I am planning on going to the fair tomorrow. I am feeling better.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
No, it's not the fair. Yeah, well, the show. You know what I
We're
mean.
exhausted. You know what I mean. We all know what everybody means. So, bye-bye.
Hi, guys. See you tomorrow.
I don't know. I'm trying. We got it, I think.
We got it.